everyone.
Hey, welcome. Episode 10. Episode 10. Can you believe it?
This will be our 10th one, yes.
10th YouTube live event.
Yeah.
It's a White Hatter team, right? Kind of looking forward to today. And Brandon, what is today? I'll give you a clue.
It's Father's Day.
Father's Day. And who am I?
My father.
I'm your father. So what are you going to say?
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you know what a great day to spend. What better way to spend a day than with your son doing a YouTube live event? Kind of cool. Talking about what we love, everything to do with internet, social media safety, and digital literacy. Right?
Indeed.
Yeah, very much. And just prior to this show, we kind of did a Instagram live event just to kind of prime the pump.
Shout out to all of you who joined us on our Instagram live. I think we're probably going to try that before every show.
That was kind of fun. Actually.
I liked it.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun. So for sure. But today's event, what do we got going on?
We got a lot of topics we're going to talk, well, not a lot of topics, but some really in-depth discussion topics I think we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about updates with us.
Yep.
We're going to talk about some interesting data we've collected over the last little bit. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about some new updates from Apple from their conference, which is very interesting from a privacy standpoint.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Some interesting tech news that has come across our table and from students like yourselves and anyone else who's watching us.
And we're also going to celebrate some really cool things that the teens are doing, right?
Yes, we are.
And I think we also have an announcement about an award we gave out.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we got some of those things coming on. So I think it's going to be an exciting show, some really good stuff, and I want to thank everybody for connecting with us. And by the way, for those people who want to connect with us and ask us questions during the show, how do they go about doing that, Brandon?
Well, as usual, we have our usual ways to connect with us. We have here in the comments, which should be working. We have Twitter, as always. You know, tag us or use our hashtag, the White Hatter. And you can also send us a direct message on Instagram or Facebook, and we love commenting and answering your questions here live on the show. We answered a bunch of questions on the Instagram live broadcast we did prior to the show, which was a lot of fun. So Candace, our social media director, is in the back, and she's monitoring all the social media platforms. If you have any questions, comments, by all means, send them our way. We would love to engage with you here on the show.
And don't forget to hit that subscribe button on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Which is really, really
and
important.
the bell notification icon.
And does the bell go ding?
It doesn't actually go ding.
It doesn't go ding?
No.
Oh, too bad.
No.
They should make it go ding, don't you think?
Yeah, they should.
They should. I mean, it's a bell. It would kind of make sense, right? Visual and auditory, because there's a variety of different ways people learn, right? For sure. So what do we got going?
First thing I want to talk about is you may have seen it. We just published it on our website.
Yes, we
and
did.
It is on our updates. We gave out our 2019 scholarship.
We did.
Just the other day.
We gave out one last year. We did it again this year. We're going to make this a yearly event, right?
Yes.
And I actually awarded the scholarship, and I think we have a picture of that.
We do. So congratulations, Makeo Wong, who received our 2019 scholarship this year.
Yes, and Makeo goes to the BC Christian Academy High School in Coquitlam.
Yeah.
And he is heading off to Simon Fraser University into the computer engineering program, and he's wanting to get involved in network security and stuff, which is right up the avenue of what it is that the scholarship was designed for, right?
Yeah.
So really kind of cool. He wrote an essay for us, which was a part of the whole earning the scholarship, and they're going to be able to, people who are interested, they can go to our website, right?
Yeah, we just published his essay and a quick write-up on him on our website under our scholarships. It's actually on our front page as well. So if you want to learn what the scholarship was all about, please visit our webpage, thewhitehatter.ca. And if you are a grade 11 student who's going into grade 12 next school term, keep an update when we announce our 2020 scholarship, which should be, I don't know, we'll probably announce it later.
Later this summer.
Later summer, perhaps.
Just before school starts and stuff, right? For sure. Great young man, Makeo. I mean, just it was a pleasure talking to him, interacting with him. Great school he goes to. Surrounded by great teachers there at the school as well, supporting everything that he's doing. And congratulations, Makeo. Job well done. Job well done. And it might only buy you one book, right? $1,000.
Maybe two.
Maybe two.
From my experience, maybe two.
Maybe a couple more, right? So, but congratulations, Makeo. Well deserved. You have a bright future ahead of you. And who knows, maybe down the road, we in the White Hatter team may grow to the point where we may need somebody like you, maybe hire you full time. Who knows?
You never know what the future holds.
So, congratulations. So, we also every year we do a database where we collect what it is that we're doing and where we're doing it and that kind of stuff, because we hear about a lot of these companies and people saying that they do these things and this many people, but we actually keep those numbers. And so you just finished your last school's presentation.
I did. We are done for the summer.
But you know what's interesting right now is we've already got over 30 schools booked for the fall, and I think it's 4 or 5 registered for the 2020 school year, like in January.
Crazy.
This is crazy, right? So for any of the schools or teachers out there that may be watching us right now, if you're interested in bringing in an award-winning, multi-award-winning social media and internet safety and digital literacy program, give us a call. Like, we can travel anywhere in Canada and the United States now, right? Beth and I, we've held a U.S. visa for a while now, but you just got your American visa, right?
Yes, I do.
So now Brandon can go down there to teach his programs right now for the elementary programs, which is really cool. Really cool, right? But what are some of the numbers that that you were able to mine down on?
Yeah, well, like as you said, like every school presentation we go to, we count every head that sits in the audience, and we like to know who we present to and how many. And to date, we have actually presented to over 462,000 students across Canada and the United States.
That is amazing. You know what? I think we're going to hit 500,000 before the end of this, or before the end of 2019.
Yeah.
I think we'll hit 500,000, right? For sure, which is a pretty big accomplishment.
It's
right,
amazing.
If we get there. I mean, 462,000 to date is just unbelievable, right? Which is kind of cool. And we also kind of figured out how many schools we've gone to now, too, right?
Oh, we have a question coming in first. We'll go there. From Bulldogs. How do I get a scholarship from the White Hatter? Wonderful question. So every year, so usually around when school starts, in September, we're going to spend the summer and we're going to talk about what the topic will be. So every year we discuss a topic.
Yeah.
So this year the topic was how to leverage social media and the internet to benefit you in your opportunities of the future.
Yeah, and getting in, how can you use social media to get into a college, university, or even a job?
Yeah.
That's what it was all about, right?
Last year it was about the security of the Internet of Things.
Yes.
Because there have been security issues over the last little bit. So we'll discuss a topic.
Just a couple.
So we'll discuss a topic in the summer, and then we'll announce it on our website, thewhitehatter.ca, under the scholarship tab. And that's where we'll announce it. And we should hopefully have that up and running when school starts back up in September.
Yeah, for sure. There's a whole criteria you have to meet, which includes getting a couple of letters from teachers at the school to support your scholarship and who you are. But it's kind of our way to give back, especially to the young people now, young adults who are moving on into the tech world. I mean, this year we had 182,000 openings for coders in Canada, and we couldn't fill all those positions, right? So there's a big need for this stuff, and we're just happy as a company that we can help students financially meet their academic goals to get there, right? Which is kind of cool. So yeah, 462,000. That's how you get into the White Hatter Scholarship. So keep your eye out on our website. Again, follow us on our website, which is
thewhitehatter.ca.
thewhitehatter.ca. Now, 462,000 students. How many schools?
How many schools? By our numbers, over 700 schools.
Over 700.
Over 700.
That is amazing, right?
It is. It truly is.
Yeah, and so when you look at that, and those are not just Canadian schools, those are also American schools. And when you look at what we're doing virtually now, like you just did a virtual classroom session, right? Where you beamed right here from the studio into a smaller school in the interior of British Columbia. Where was that again? Do you remember where that was? I forget where that was, but it was a small, like Golden or something like that, right?
Smithers.
Like, Smithers, that's right. Yeah, where it was a smaller community that couldn't bring us in. So we did the full presentation virtually. Yeah. And that's what you did. We did it right here. And that's what's really cool, right? We can do a virtual training programs right here through our White Hatter studio, which is kind of cool.
Fantastic.
So, something really cool going on this month too, right? That we're helping to celebrate.
Yeah.
What is that something?
It's June, which means it's Pride Month.
It is.
And we are huge supporters and allies. And because of that, you may have seen on our social media, we did a tweak to our logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
What was that? Ooh,
you may
there it is.
see. Yeah, right there.
There it is, the feather. The feather.
We've changed our feather in support of Pride Month.
Yes. Big supporters here at the White Hatter team of Pride Month and everybody involved in the LGBTQ plus community, plus many others kind of stuff. So yeah, this is just our way of celebrating and recognizing the Pride movement here in British Columbia, Canada, around the world, right? Which we think is really important. Inclusivity is extremely important to us as a company.
Certainly.
Right? It really is. Which kind of segues really nicely into this next thing you're going to talk about, right?
We're very big here in BC because we're based in BC. I mean, we go all over the place, but I mean, we have a really big, strong foundation here in BC.
And when Brandon says BC, just in case people are tuning in from around the world, which could happen, it's British Columbia, Canada.
British Columbia, Canada.
British Columbia, Canada.
And here in BC and in Alberta, there's this wonderful sort of initiative going on in the education world called SOGI.
Yeah, SOGI.
If you are a student here in BC or even Alberta, you may have heard about this. You may be a little familiar about it. And
it's SOGI 123, right?
SOGI 123.
Yeah, SOGI 123. Yeah.
And what's really cool is it's a part of building inclusivity into schools, into into like maybe the curriculum, maybe even into the policy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're huge supporters.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that we've come across is there's sometimes some confusion.
Yeah,
I think
I would agree with you on that. Like I would say that there's some significant confusion going on out there, right?
Most certainly. So, I mean, if you're a student or a parent or someone here in BC, you may have heard about this and you might be a little confused. People we've talked to, there is some confusion on what exactly SOGI is. So actually what we're going to do is...
what are we going to do?
throughout this month, and probably next month, we're going to be doing a lot more videos here on YouTube. That's our plan, and hopefully we're going to continuing on through that from here on forward. So we're actually going to be working on a sort of video, like documentary series,
like a mini documentary,
like a mini documentary where we are going to investigate like what exactly SOGI is and what do people think about it.
Yeah, because I think that this is a really important thing that we need to do, right? Because it's all about educating the public, because I think there's a lot of disinformation going on out there, being pushed, and I think that disinformation is causing a lot of angst amongst individuals that I think is unwarranted if in fact we get the real information out there, right? And so I think that that's what you and Candace are going to be doing.
We're going to spend a good amount of time this summer and really focusing on what exactly this is so we can communicate to people what it is, because we want to know what it is.
Kind of exciting, right? Like it's kind of exciting that you're going to be doing this like a mini documentary thing, right? And not really but a mini documentary, but it's all about getting information out there that is based upon good research, investigative research. You're almost kind of becoming like an investigative reporter. Yeah. Think about it that way, right? And if anybody has any information that they think they may want to share with us dealing with SOGI 123, then please send us an email, right, to the White Hatter, and that includes students, parents, educators, people in the community. Don't be afraid to share with us. Because the other thing too is I see that there's kind of two factions, right? Like there's pro SOGI 123 and there's anti SOGI 123. And I think as what we're going to be doing, and don't let me put words in your mouth, but I think you want to get information from both sides, right? Like we want this to be fair. Yeah. Right?
Well, I mean, we work a lot in schools, and even we're a little confused in what exactly SOGI 123 is. So I think for us, it's more about what is it?
Yeah.
And what people think about it.
And what it isn't.
Yes.
Right? Which I think is also just as important as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be quite the project that we're going to be doing.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. One of the projects that I took on was another thing we're going to talk about here in a second. And about this thing, and we talked about it a couple episodes ago about parenting, where kids are really concerned. When I say kids, I mean preteens, teens, and young adults are really concerned about the amount of information that parents put out about their teens in the parent social media, because what's funny to a parent today may not be funny to the child later on, especially when they get into middle schools and high schools. So we actually put out a question, and it's called parenting, by the way. That's what it's commonly be called. And we heard all kinds of numbers out there about how often this is happening, but we decided to ask the experts. That's the teens that follow us, right? And you know, we had a really good response back, right? And so, but what's interesting, we're going to show that response here in a little bit. But then, when we first published the responses from the kids, from the teens about sharenting and how they don't like it, we had a parent ask the question, well, I wonder how many kids are sharing stuff about us as parents that really we don't want shared. Right? It's kind of like what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? Kind of a thing. So we thought, that's a really good question. So what we decided to do is we decided to ask both questions to all our followers. And we did it on Instagram for the teens and then on Facebook
for
the parents, because that's where a lot of the parents follow us, is on Facebook, and a lot of the teens follow us on Instagram. And so Brandon, what do we find? What did we get here?
Here are numbers. There we are.
Interesting numbers, right?
So we asked, so Instagram, which we have a primarily heavy, youth following, we asked them, are you comfortable with a parent of yours posting personal information about you on social media?
Yeah.
And as we suspected, about 66% said, no, we feel uncomfortable with this information.
Which kind of echoes a lot of the other research that we see going on out there on this topic, right? Like that one really didn't surprise us too much. No. I thought it might be a little bit higher, to be quite honest with you. I thought it would probably be around the 70s or the 80s. But, it didn't surprise us that the majority of them are saying, no, they don't like it. But then what about the other one here?
Well, we asked adults, parents, do you feel comfortable with your kids posting personal information about you on their social media? And look at that, 87% said no. They would feel uncomfortable with a kid of theirs posting personal, private information about them on their open social network.
Yeah. So what's the moral of this story?
If you're going to post anything personal or private about anyone on any social network, just ask for permission. Yeah. Doesn't matter who you are, if you're a kid, if you're a teen, if you're a parent, if you're a caregiver, doesn't matter.
I also think it's important that the teens understand, just like you don't like your parents posting stuff about you online, I think it's also important for the teens and young adults that are following us to know that parents don't really like it when you post stuff about them in your social networks as well. It's kind of what's good for the goose is good for the gander kind of idea. But the message is quite clear, right? Is we love social media, we use it, but before you're posting stuff about one another, especially personal, private information, ask for the other person's permission first, right? Like, let's start modeling good digital literacy between one another, so that it's not a free-for-all and stuff, right? But you know what? It's kind of really kind of cool that the teens are concerned about this, but so are parents. And I would say that parents are more concerned than the teens, right? For sure. That's what the numbers show. Kind of cool. Yeah. So, what else?
Looks like we're having issues with the YouTube comments. It looks like the YouTube comments are having a couple issues today. Thank you, Jessica, for letting us know on Twitter. They're trying to comment on the live chat here, and it looks like there's some problems with the chat. So
and that could be because of the new algorithms that YouTube is using, right? Like
it might be.
They just went public just recently to say that if they're not allowing live chats now with teens and stuff, right? So that could be one of the issues.
We'll talk about that maybe a little bit. It may be related, but we'll look into our settings. So if you want to send us a comment or message, please do it through either Instagram or Facebook. Those are ways you can comment us. So looks like the comment section in YouTube right now is not functioning as it should. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Comment if you can. If you try and comment on the live chat to see if it is working.
Well, let's just be thankful that the video is working fine, though, right?
Yeah, at least the video is working, right?
Which is really important, right?
That's good. No, Life of Potter had just commented.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. Well, yeah, you just keep posting. Like, let's see what happens, right? Let's not concern ourselves too much with it, right?
Anyways.
Yeah. So what else do we got going on here, Brandon? I think as we go back into the slide deck here.
Well, we're always here to help.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
And this month already, we have helped 3 different families.
Yeah, you know what? It's been amazing this month how 3 separate families have connected with us all about the same specific issue that I'm not going to really talk about here publicly, about some issues that were going on, significant issues. And in all three cases, we've been able to help those parents, right? Which has been really cool. I mean, we're here to help. That's what we pride ourselves on, not just for the teens and young adults, but also for parents, law enforcement, who've connected with us as well. But yeah, this month we've had three parents, families reach out to us over issues that were going on, some significant issues. And in all three of those cases, we've been able to help them. That's why we say we love what we do, how we do it, and why we do it, right? That's what it's all about. It's about sharing that information. That's why a lot of what we do is free, kind of like this YouTube channel. It's about getting that information out to people so that to help them kind of navigate this world together, right, with their kids and with parents, because that's what it's all about. It's all about parents and kids getting together to talk about these topics, right? Yeah, for sure. So, what else we got going on?
Let's talk about some news stories.
Hold on, here we go. In the news.
So we're going to talk about some interesting news reports that have come out since our last show that we want to discuss here on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
So first one is in regards to, well, actually might be why comments aren't necessarily working as well as they should be.
Yeah, maybe.
YouTube and young creators.
What's going on?
Yeah, so you may see these reports where YouTube has changed its systems a little bit in regards to young individuals who are posting and commenting and live streaming here on YouTube.
Kind of like what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we got some comments coming on through. So
good example. Bulldog just said, what is the troll's name that is in the back of the set?
Oh, Trollga, that right there? That there is Trollga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our Instagram followers, because we put it out on Instagram, name our troll.
Yeah.
Right? And we put out, and our Instagram followers actually named her. Right?
Yeah.
Or named,
Yeah, they named them.
Named them, right? Which is kind of cool.
So YouTube has changed its systems a bit. So basically, if someone's a young individual and they are visibly a kid and they are live streaming on
visibly a kid. Well, that's an interesting.
I mean,
I know.
It's artificial intelligence, right? So I mean, like,
kind of like my brain. Yeah, it's not real intelligence; it's artificial intelligence. That's what here he goes. Every time I make a bad joke, that's what he's going to do now, right? So,
so YouTube had.
Let me guess, you can't get your chair.
No,
back.
I got it. Okay, maybe I won't do that again.
The joke was on you, dude.
Fair enough.
Okay, fair enough. So let's go back to this.
Back to the story.
Yeah,
So anyway, YouTube had basically they put more restrictions on young people posting on YouTube. Essentially, this is actually what YouTube said. This is a quote from YouTube. Over the past week, we're disabling comments from tens of millions of videos that are subject to predatory behavior. I'll talk about what that means here in a bit. Essentially, I'll sum it up right now. Essentially, if someone's video involves a young person and the comments are very, very bad, offensive, predatory in nature, YouTube's system will disable comments from that video.
Well, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Like
there's some things that could go wrong, and if someone is live streaming and they're visibly a young individual, they will not be allowed to live stream unless they get parents' permission.
Well, look at me. I look like I'm 15, and it's still streaming just
don't
fine.
Kid
Are you going to make the chair go down again?
Don't kid
yourself. Oh, God. It's Father's Day, dude.
Sorry.
Okay.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. This is going to be interesting. I mean, I understand why YouTube is doing it, right? I mean, there's been lots and lots and lots of pressure on all the major social media right now to deal with inappropriate content online.
Yeah.
Language, fanaticism with respect to the alt-right, all those types of issues that are going on, sexual predation issues. So, I mean, I understand why they're doing it.
Yeah, my concern is this is all done through AI,
artificial
intelligence. So what if someone who is 16 who looks like maybe they're 13? Right?
That's true.
How does YouTube then verify someone's age just based on what they look like?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah, it could be.
And what about people who want to intentionally target someone's YouTube channel by posting a lot of hateful, evil comments and then forcing YouTube to then disable comments on that person's channel?
It's kind of like what the kids did in the early texting days when they did text wars, right? Where if I was targeting you, I would get like 30 of my friends to send you all these really bad texts, and then somebody reports it and shuts down your feed, right? Kind of the same idea.
So it'll be interesting to see how YouTube implements this new protection system and what the consequences, both positive and negative, will be.
Yeah, for sure.
Some questions I just want to, since we're on YouTube, I thought it'd be a good thing to quickly mention.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What else we got going? Something to do with Apple had their big announcement, right?
Yes. We can't talk about tech on YouTube if you don't bring up Apple. Right?
That's true.
So,
but having said that, I love Apple.
I do too.
I love Apple.
Some things we want to talk about. The June 3rd Apple Worldwide Developers Conference. A couple things I want to talk about. Apple had a lot of very interesting privacy updates.
Yeah, they're kind of, of all the big players out there, they seem to be the ones that are really starting to really push the privacy issue, right?
Well, you pay for it.
You do.
Right?
But, if you want it, then you should pay for it, in my opinion, right? I mean, the whole purpose of free social media is because it's free. Well, in order to keep it free, it's got to pay for it somehow.
Yeah.
And so how do platforms like that, like Facebook, do it? By aggregating our data and selling it.
Yes.
Right? And so Apple's kind of taking a different spin.
Yeah, Apple has certainly changed its position over the last couple of years of being kind of the privacy company, because I guess because we pay a premium for the products.
Having said that, there was an article, I'm sure you just read it just recently, where an investigative report in the United States found that when you plug your Apple in at night, it was still sending information that a lot of the apps on the phone, I think that was my understanding, were still collecting and sending, right?
Yeah, but I mean that's a user accepting those apps onto their phone.
Right.
So user so by default, Apple's pretty secure, but it's pretty easy for users to allow for more less private information to be shared.
Right, and this is one of the things that Apple is going to try to overcome, right, with respect to what it is.
Yeah. So a couple things I want to talk about is the first update is in regards to their sign-ins, which is very.
Is this kind of like the, where you can sign in using Facebook?
Yeah.
But
So,
aren't there some issues with that?
well, here's the interesting. So let's say you're signing up for a new product, a new social network, whatever it is. And usually you have the option of either signing in with Facebook, signing in with
Twitter,
Google, sometimes Twitter, or sometimes just use your actual email instead of password with that.
Yeah, and those are things you shouldn't be doing, right?
Well, email and password makes sense, right? You use your email, you sign up for an account, you might provide them some personal information, you may not, and then a password. With these other platforms, you don't need a password because you use your Facebook or Gmail password to log in.
But if I was to do that, then you're giving Facebook permission to see what it is I'm doing.
See, that's one of the biggest issues is that when you use like Google or Facebook to sign in to an online web service, whatever it might be, oftentimes the data that is on that platform is shared with the company that you're signing up for an account with. What Apple's doing is they are allowing developers to have a sign in with Apple. So Apple verifies your identity to make sure that you're not a bot. And then the developers can't have access to everything.
Or so that's what Apple is saying.
That's what they're saying. So people are it's not out yet. Details are still coming out. But what's really interesting, what they announced was in regards to, this is a great screenshot from their conference. Essentially, you can select what information you provide a company when you sign up. And what's really interesting, Apple is allowing you, if you sign up for a product with Apple, you can provide that company with a hide my email address.
Really?
Yeah, I know. So what that means is that when normally let's say you're signing up for, I don't know, let's say a magazine, whatever. You choose to sign up with your regular username, email, password. You provide that company your email. If you sign up with Apple, you can choose to send that company a unique, privatized email so it cannot use your actual real email to identify you.
Which would probably then also help deal with some of the spam that goes on, right?
Very much.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see how developers will actually take this up or not.
I'm gonna kind of watch and see before it's kind of a cool idea. But before I hop in, I think I'm going to sit back and watch and see what happens and really see if other people will dive deep into this one to see, now that we're doing this, instead of Facebook now being able to collect and aggregate the information to their advantage, is Facebook or is Apple going to do it?
Yeah.
Right? Like, who knows? But it's an interesting concept, right?
Well, TechCrunch had a very interesting article they published, and it's easy to find.
That's a great TechCrunch, right?
Yeah, they're pretty good. Where essentially, they answers to your burning question. There's like at least 20 questions that are common. People are asking about this, and they're kind of clarifying. And it gets kind of complicated at some points, but it seems like Apple is doing their part in making sure this system works.
Doing a part, right?
A part.
Yeah, a part, right? Like it's you know, given what happened with Cambridge Analytics and Facebook and all this kind of stuff, I'm still skeptical to a degree when these big companies like Apple and some of the others are saying that they're doing this kind of stuff and not collecting the information to their advantage as well. So, I mean, there's no doubt, I think of all the big players, Apple is probably doing the most on attempting to ensure that the information that we're using on their systems is not being used, is not being collected, and that they do not have access to it, right? So, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you're skeptical on that a little bit.
Yeah.
How about this update in regards to
another one.
The HOMEKIT update?
No, really? So what's going on with this one?
So Apple's HOMEKIT, which is its sort of IoT, Internet of Things aggregation software. So you have all these different devices in the house.
Which is a huge security issue, right?
And big market.
Yeah, it is.
You have all these products in the house that connect to the internet.
Yeah, like locks, lights, alarms, cameras.
Yeah. So what HOMEKIT does is that it's the hub. And it's a hub that kind of secures those devices, or at least attempts to.
Right.
Now, what Apple has announced is for Internet of Things, or Internet connected home security cameras.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this on the show before, right? There have been issues. There have been some companies we talked about before where someone buys their home security camera, they put it on their front door, and all the video is then sent to the company onto their servers, which some employees have access to view to help the artificial intelligence make sense of the images that are present.
Yeah, which is a concern, right?
Yeah.
Because people are actually seeing that as well.
Yeah.
And not just on like the doorbell ones, but also on cameras that go into the house, right?
So what Apple is doing is that they're going after that market. And what they're doing is you can connect a internet connected camera that they have partnered with. So there's only 3 companies right now who've jumped on board.
Oh yeah, I remember reading this.
Yeah, there's 3 companies, and if you have one camera, you have free iCloud storage of that video for 10 days.
Which makes sense,
Makes
right?
sense, 10
Because
days.
something bad happens, like your home's being broken into or something like that, usually you're retrieving it within the first 24 to 48 hours, right? Like really you don't need to retrieve anything longer than that.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense.
Free iCloud storage for the videos you collect with one camera.
But does Apple have access to that now?
No.
Really?
So either your Apple TV or your HomePod, it uses its intelligence, so it's our AI in the machine to do the processing inside your home.
But
the video does not get sent to a server anywhere to be analyzed.
But do you have to have a HomePod to do that?
You need a HomePod or an Apple TV.
Oh, see, I'm a little concerned about the HomePod issue, right? Because remember we've been talking about these things about how they're listening and that kind of stuff. So
if you allow it, yes. If you use Hey Siri, the voice goes to Apple servers to be analyzed.
But I guess if we're using the iTV, that's not really an issue.
It also has Siri in it as well with the remote.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
But I mean, the data for the video that it collects is encrypted on your end before it even goes to Apple. So even Apple can't see the video.
So they don't have a key to unlock the
Nope,
encryption?
it's just there to store the video for you. That's all it does. They don't do analyzing on their end. They just store it in an encrypted.
Now, what if somebody breaks into my home and takes my Apple TV or my HomePod?
Well, the videos stay saved in the iCloud.
Oh, so they won't be able to access it from there? Oh, interesting.
Nope. Now, obviously, Apple makes money somehow. They have to, right? So if you want to add more cameras, you will need to buy more iCloud storage.
Of course.
Which is, what was it? The current announcement was for there's a 200 gig plan iCloud storage required.
Yeah.
You will need a 2 terabyte plan for up to 5 cameras.
Yeah.
And the current pricing, US pricing, is can be between $3 and $10 a month.
Well, kind of affordable, for companies and that kind of stuff and bigger business.
Yeah, but even many of these other products that are in-home cameras, they usually pay a subscription for that anyways as well.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
And it's pretty, I've seen online, it's pretty comparable to these other companies.
Interesting.
And Apple is claiming privacy as its main sort of standpoint against these other organizations.
Interesting. Very interesting, right? Like Apple, there's no doubt that Apple's, how about the Android market? Are they kind of doing the same thing, are you finding? Or
Apple's Google, right? So, Android's Google.
Yeah.
Android's Google.
Ooh,
so,
no, Apple's not Google.
I mean, Google has its Google Drive that you can upload files to. I mean, there's no integration yet that I've seen for that.
Yeah, interesting. Just before we get going, I think it's important that we give a shout out to the Toronto Raptors. And
I think someone commented on that.
Yeah, I think it was Bulldog.
Yeah, Bulldogs. Yeah, they commented on that.
Like, holy moly, world champions, Canadian company, whoop whoop, right? Canadian company, Canadian team, unbelievable. A lot of people don't know this. Did you know that basketball was actually created by a Canadian?
I did not know that.
Did you know that the first NBA game ever played was played in Toronto?
I did not know that.
I know. So we've actually brought back something that we started, which is kind of cool. So big shout out to the Toronto Raptors and their big win for sure. And thank you for Bulldog for bringing that to our attention, right? Against the finals against the Golden State Warriors, right?
Yeah.
So big shout out to the Golden State Warriors as well. I mean, they did. I watched the series with Mom, and Mom doesn't know anything about basketball, right? So she's asking.
I know a little bit.
She's asking me all these questions. But anyways, it was a really good series, and it just a big shout out to the Toronto Raptors for doing what it is that they did. Yeah. What else?
Shout out to Squiddy Crafter.
Squiddy Crafter. Do you remember going to my school, Elgin? Why didn't Brandon come to Elgin? I do remember going to Elgin, and the reason Brandon doesn't go to Elgin is Brandon right now concentrates on the elementary
grades 4, 5s, and 6 and 7s.
6 and 7s right now. I'm doing the 8s and aboves at this point in time, and so that's the reason why. We're getting so busy that Brandon and I kind of split the responsibility between the schools right now. We have a couple of others that we're bringing on board this summer. We'll kind of talk about them later this summer on one of our other shows to assist us in doing what it is that we do, but that's the reason why. Why. So, that's what else we got going?
You brought this article to my attention.
Great article. We hear a lot about people talking about all the faults and bad things that are happening about social media, but this is a really good article that was written by a teen who talks about, because of her disability, if it wasn't for social media, she wouldn't have connections with others out in the real world. And
we hear this a lot.
We do. We hear this a lot from teens who have an emotional, psychological, physical, even social disabilities that really don't allow them to get out there. And the only way that they can stay connected is through the use of social media. Right? And I bring this to the attention again for everybody watching, especially the parents who may be watching this, just to get across that, we hear all this horrible stuff about social media. Social media is bad, it's horrible, blah. There's some issues, there's no doubt about it. But there's so many different ways that our teens and young adults are now using social media in a positive way to stay healthy, right? And when I say stay healthy, I just don't mean the physical. I also mean the emotional, the psychological, and the social as well. And that's just a really good article to kind of highlight that fact that was written by a teen for teens. Yeah. Right? Which I think is really important. Yeah, and it's on our Facebook page, actually. It is. If you want to read more about it. It's a fantastic article. And what's our Facebook page? White Hatter Team. White Hatter Team. Facebook. Great. Go there and have a read of it, for sure. What else we got going? Another interesting article that you may have probably seen this perhaps in media. This is kind of a resurgence. We've seen this before in the past. Yeah. Apple's AirDrop. It's very much an Apple series today, right? It is. So Apple's AirDrop. So a couple of reports came out in the media earlier this month where there was apparently a surge in people using and sending other individuals images and files through open AirDrops. So, I mean, for those of you who don't know what AirDrop is, essentially if you have an Apple phone and you can send
pictures or text or files to someone else's Apple product through Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which is great. I mean, I use it a lot with you, right? Want to send you a picture, or send you a picture through AirDrop, right?
Or document.
Or document. I use it all the time. Wonderful tool. But there are 3 options for AirDrop. You can set your AirDrop to always allow, which means anyone who's near you can send you something through AirDrop. You can see how that can maybe be a problem. You can set it to contacts only, so only people in your contacts list can send you things through AirDrop, or you can turn it off. So the issue was some people were sending, let's call them inappropriate images.
Nudes.
Through people's AirDrops.
Porn.
Near their vicinity.
Inappropriate language.
Through AirDrop to people who had an open AirDrop setting.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen lots of articles on this over the past couple of years where people writing transit, example, have the public thing open, and all of a sudden, boof, this picture of a male's genitalia pops up on the screen, right? It's like those kind of, but you know what? I had a really, really good message from a teacher who says that she uses AirDrop in her class all the time with her students, right? Now, she's blessed with the fact that she has iPads that she can give to all the kids in her class. So it allows them to do that because it allows the kids to work on projects and immediately drop them into so that she can see them and look at them and that kind of stuff, which is kind of a really cool use of an AirDrop. But now the question is that if you have it on the public, like you say, and you're in in public places, then and others can see it who want to get up to a little mischief, they can drop these things, which I also think is important for teachers in schools to know, right? Like they need to turn off that function, specifically having it wide open for anybody, so that students aren't dropping inappropriate things into their phones, right?
Yeah, actually, this brings, I think I might take a screenshot. It reminds me, we were traveling on an aircraft to, I think it was somewhere in Alberta.
That's right.
So we're in an aircraft, and we are, like however high up, right? And there's Wi-Fi on the plane, all that stuff. It's a WestJet flight, Wi-Fi. And
shout out to WestJet, our favorite airline.
And so I pull my laptop and I just want to see what's happening. And I go to AirDrop and I see there was probably I showed you it. There was probably about
5 or 6.
There were 5 or 6 people who had open AirDrops on this one plane. I don't know how high we were. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? I could send these people whatever I want right now in this aircraft.
And they wouldn't know it was you.
Well, I mean, you would see who it's from, unless I changed the name. Unless I changed the name. Anyways, I think I might take a screenshot.
You know what we should do is we should actually create, kind of like what we do with No, It's Rude to Ask for a Nude. We should create a graphic so that when we're flying and we see this on a plane, we send that graphic just with our white hat a logo that says, just to let you know, your AirDrop is wide open.
Does that fall under CASL legislation?
What's CASL legislation?
The Canadian Anti-Spam Legislation.
No, because I think we're doing it from a learning perspective.
I'll look into that.
Okay, you look into it. All right. I just think it would be a really good way to let people know that maybe they have something open that they really don't want to have open.
I don't know. I'll reread CASL because...
It's kind of a public service announcement.
Because if the person's publicly allowing this, it's like if someone has a website, it's public. You can go to the website.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do that.
Yep.
I don't know. I'll look into that. I'll ask my contacts.
Kind of a interesting idea, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about it. What else we got going?
We always talk about this. There is always a need to fill tech jobs.
That's why our scholarship.
Of course.
Right, to kind of promote that.
So this is a great article. It's another recent article talking about, and they kind of listed. So this article from the CBC, there was a company who worked with Indeed. Indeed is a very popular resume website, and they pulled together some information in regards to job applicants with the fewest applicant per post. So essentially what that means is someone has a job, they post it on Indeed, and their posts get the lowest number of applicants. And here was the result. Registered nurses, number 1. There is a huge need here in Canada for registered nurses, and there's not enough people to fill those jobs.
I like number 3.
Number 3, hairstylist.
I like that. What do you think?
That's an interesting one. Okay, I like that one.
But in the top 5, right?
Top 5, and then we're looking at in the kind of the middle, software engineer, and then number 7 is full stack developer.
You know, a lot of people don't know this. This year, there were 182,000 openings for coders in Canada. In Canada alone. And we can't fill all the positions. Like, there's a real need for this.
Yeah.
And that's why students who are getting involved in the science, the technology, the engineering, the arts, and the mathematics, what we call STEAM, you know, getting involved in coding and robotics, they're really setting themselves up for future success because of the real need in the digital world.
Most
right?
certainly.
And so that's something else that we're really promoting to parents as well, to get them to understand that this is where the job market is going. This is where the needs are going. You know, if we're preparing our kids, giving them the skills that they need for these jobs, then we're doing something for them that will be of a financial benefit to them in the future, right?
Yeah.
And that includes gaming. Like there's over 200 universities now that offer e-gaming scholarships, right?
Yep.
So it's really important. Got some really good couple of questions.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, Bulldog. God, Bulldog's asking some good questions. This is kind of follow up for yours, where they said, "How do I turn off AirDrop on my iPhone?"
Good question. So the easiest way is going into your phone settings, and then you just go to.
Can we do the top-down camera? No.
Can we do? I don't think.
Maybe not this show.
Not this one.
Okay, not this show. Yeah.
Basically, it's in. I can show this one here.
Okay, go for it. Oh, look at that. Oh, you can't really see it though.
Where is it? Right there. So it's in your settings. If you can kind of see that, it's in your settings, and you have 3 options. So if you just search for AirDrop in your settings, it looks like this. 3 options: off, contacts, and everyone. I have mine set to contacts because I want to be able to, well, send you in my contacts messages. So that's how you do it.
Pretty cool. That's a pretty cool top-down camera. Can you do that again?
Do it again?
Do that again? I just want to see something here.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I want to turn that off now. Nope. Okay. Candace is telling me it's Father's Day, and I have to allow him to do what he wants.
That's true. Hey, another great question. Life of Potter asked, Life of Potterhead, have you done more interventions? No, but you know, when you say interventions, I think you're talking about youth who've reached out to us for help because of suicidal ideation, self-harming. But we have helped the 3 parents this month, right? That are technically, in the 3 occasions, that they would be kind of technically interventions, but specifically for the youth, no, we're at that 195 mark, which, to be quite honest, I'm very happy with, right? Because it would concern me if we're getting a ton of these. But no, I mean, we're at 195 right now, which is just unbelievable. We are getting kind of mini ones though, right? We're, especially on Instagram, where you and Candace are answering a lot of different questions from youth.
Our intervention number, that's more like really significant cases.
Yeah.
Where something really significantly was going on.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, big time.
But I mean, we do little tiny assists all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Which kind of brings up another interesting thing I found. You know, we hear about all these challenges, right? We talk about them in our presentations. I don't know if you do in your elementary and your intermediate programs, but I definitely do in my middle school and high school programs. You know, about all the different challenges that are out there. A really cool one that happened about 1.5 years ago was the ice bucket challenge, right? Where young people were raising money for ALS, right? But there were some other concerning ones out there, like the Tide Pod challenge, the cinnamon challenge. Well, another one has rebirthed, all right? This has been around now for about 2 to 3 years now, and it was called the Vacuum Challenge or the Garbage Bag Vacuum Challenge, and it was around about 2.5, 3 years ago, but it kind of resurged a little bit. We're seeing this a little bit more on TikTok and also on IG. And what students and young people will do is they'll take these garbage bags and they wrap themselves up so that the only thing sticking out is their head. And then they'll put a vacuum into it, and then they suck out all the air, and you become absolutely entwined or entwined in the bag where you got no movement. And it looks really funny, but one of the problems that is now being identified by the medical community is hypoxia. In fact, the one that I'm showing you here, or that we're showing, is from a YouTube clip. And you'll see here that as soon as the picture on the left, you can see the other person putting the hose down in the bag to suck out the air. And then once the air was sucked out, you'll see how the student fell to the right. And the reason the student fell was because as the air was being sucked out, it constricted around the youth's neck, so it stopped blood supply going into the brain, so they lost consciousness and they fell over. And it was quite clear in the video. You can see them lose consciousness, and I saw this a lot in police training, right? Where we're using a neck restraint, or we see the martial arts where you put a neck restraint on, somebody passes out. So it was quite clear that that's exactly what happened. Now, when he fell over, you could see his neck bent over, so he was coming in and out of consciousness at the time. But the biggest concern that the medical community is saying is, what if you don't have a secondary person there? Because there have been some people that are trying it by themselves. So let's say you put this vacuum hose in, you suck out all the air, it constricts around your neck, you now pass out, you fall over and it's still constricting, which now means you're stopping blood supply going to the brain, causing hypoxia, which now means it only takes a couple of minutes before we start to experience brain injury as a result of that, right?
Right.
So, it's something that we need to be alive to. Again, a lot of people are doing this. It started as when I did the research on this one, it came back basically from a science experiment where a science class was doing it, but it just really took off. But recently we've seen a resurgence of it, and it's just something to be alive to. Right? Yeah. It's something to be alive to for sure. Again, if people want to connect with us, how do they go about doing that?
Oh, you know the ways. Comment here on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yeah.
That's we're here to answer your questions and engage with you.
And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, right?
Of course.
Subscribe and follow us, right? Which is really important. So, what's the next?
Oh, I love this next series.
Yeah, I love this segment, actually.
This one is the coolest tech products. So this is a series, if you've been following us, we love highlighting all the great, amazing things people are doing online, especially youth.
Yes.
So, if you're someone, a follower of ours, a subscriber of ours, and you're doing something really cool with tech, by all means, send us a message, send us your product. If you're a parent of a student who's doing really good things.
Or even a teacher doing cool stuff with tech in the classroom with the kids, right? Like, we would love to get some more robotic stuff as well, right?
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah, which would be really cool. But what we got here?
So this was a fantastic little project that was, actually, this is from a student in Duncan. It's actually pretty close to where our office is.
Yeah, Duncan, British Columbia.
Here in Duncan. And this is a student, Ryland is his name, and he had 3D printed this, essentially a stamp. And
that's pretty cool.
And it was a gift for a friend who was moving.
And her name was Jeannie.
Yeah, her name was Jeannie. And
right. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. She was in the production of Aladdin.
Right.
And they play Jeannie.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
And anyway, so the school was Mount Provost Elementary in Duncan, and it's a cool video they actually sent us. See, look at that.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool, and that's 3D printed. So they had 3D printed that
in the school.
I would assume so.
That's
pretty
cool.
The school had a 3D printer. How cool is that?
That's very cool.
Can we get a 3D printer?
With everything else you're buying right now, are you kidding me?
Put it right here.
And then we could print something off during the show or
I
something.
know, right? That'd be great.
So, yeah.
Okay, maybe in the future.
Okay, I'll give you that.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Maybe in the future.
All right.
Like when I'm dead and buried. Yeah.
So thank you, Ryland's mom, who sent it in, who wanted us to kind of showcase what her son was doing. We asked for it, and they graciously provided the video.
Yeah, pretty cool. Thank you, Mom, for sending that in. Right? It's all about giving a shout out to seeing what our kids are doing with the tech, and that's a really good example of. And you know what? 3D printing is making some huge bounds in doing what it is that they can do with 3D printing. Like I just saw the other day that they were using 3D printers to print biomedical stuff now, which is kind of cool, right?
What was it? It was IKEA now. IKEA has partnered with a company to make customized gaming peripherals.
Really?
I know, it's really cool. So essentially, you have a gaming, which is like pretty much like a gaming mouse here. So basically, friction, right, with your arm on the table. Yeah. So they can make this little armrest, and you measure your wrist, and they 3D print it, and it makes your arm more less friction on the table to move faster for gaming.
Ooh.
I know, it's so cool, right?
I could use that in my tanks game.
World of Tanks?
World of Tanks. Oh, yeah.
Have you started playing World of Warships yet?
Not yet. I know you gave me that because I kind of conquered the World of Tanks. Like I had a really good time, and then you mentioned World of Warships.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into that
Okay.
for sure.
All right.
For sure.
All right.
So I think we're getting to the end, and every time we come to the end of our show, what do?
We do a giveaway.
We do a giveaway.
We do a giveaway.
Yeah.
We do our monthly YouTube live giveaway.
Yeah.
And this is for Instagram, where we give out some White Hatter swag.
Look at that. Show me the graphics again. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Look at those. Oh, hey, by the way, did I tell you, Mom and Dad are heading down to San Diego for the July 4th weekend to kind of get away and just enjoy ourselves.
Watch some fireworks.
I know. Did you know, a little bit of trivia for you, the largest fireworks in California display is done in San Diego.
Really?
So we actually fly in July 4th during the day, and we arrive about noon, and then we're going to be heading downtown to the Inner Harbor of San Diego, where they have these 4 huge barges set up, and it's just apparently it is the show of shows when it comes to fire. We're really looking forward to it, and we're also looking forward to spending a couple of days down there traveling around, looking at all the older part of San Diego. We're really looking forward to that. Yeah. So, anyways, so what else?
So we do a giveaway on Instagram. So basically, to be entered into the draw is we do a post on Instagram. And what we do is we ask you a question. And this month's question was, what was the question, Candace? I think it was.
Come on, Candace.
What was it? It was.
Candace is over.
It was, what was it? It was the question was, what is your tech plans for the summer, right?
No, that's right.
What is your digital plan for the summer? Now that school's coming to an end.
Yeah.
So we had a bunch of responses on Instagram, and if you want to be entered in for the next giveaway for next month.
There's a lot of responses in here.
It's great.
That's good responses, right?
Yeah, so instructions are in the Instagram post, so just look for that next time we do a draw.
So, yeah, we post about a week before the show.
Yeah.
So on Instagram, so that's where you want to look. So before you draw, can you give the drum roll?
Sure.
Here we go.
All right. And the winner is Sunny Jill Foe. I want to limit my phone use and try not to go on social networking sites for entertainment. Interesting.
So rather than being a consumer, she probably wants to be more of a producer or creator.
Yeah, or do some traditional reading or outdoor activity. I love that one.
Good idea.
Having a balance.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
That's what it's about.
It's all about having a balance, right?
Although, please write Instagram to respond to our inquiry so we can send you.
Kind of ironic, right? Kind of ironic, right? It is.
So we'll send you a message so we can send you the swag.
Yeah, we just need your address and that kind of stuff. We'll do that privately. Hey, can I comment on something?
What's that?
I just noticed that usually, last time we were on the show, I was kind of like a little laid back in my, I just had a T-shirt. I see that you weren't wearing your vest and your arms are rolled up here.
It's a nice day outside.
Yeah, it's true. It is kind of sunny, but you got your tie. You're rocking your tie.
Yeah,
I do. You like my tie? I like my tie today. A little.
Is that a new tie?
Well, not really, but I just thought I'd pull it a little. Usually I'm a black and white kind of coloring guy, Father's Day, so I just thought, a little tie ring going on here and that kind of stuff. So, it's kind of styling. So, well, and what is it? The winner, they're getting they're getting
stickers. They're getting pretty much our YouTube live show exclusive sticker, which is right there, the big White Hatter sticker, which we only actually give out during the live show.
That's it. Yeah.
We have some wristbands, which we have right there. And we have some pens right there behind Darren's head.
Here's one right here. The exclusive White Hatter pen. Exclusive, right? So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's kind of wrapping the show up. We have one more question from Bulldogs.
Oh.
Well, love the engaging Bulldogs. Who are the people that work for your team?
Oh, here we go. So there's Beth.
Yeah,
right.
She's the CEO.
She's my wife, right, and CEO. There is Candace right now, who's working behind the scenes. She's our social media and logistics coordinator.
Yep.
And Brandon.
And she's my partner.
Is she?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
I know,
really?
right?
How long have you guys been together?
5 years now.
I never knew that she was your partner. I'm just joking. Sorry. So there's Beth, there's Candace, there's you, there's me, there's Cal.
Yeah.
There's Shannon.
Yep.
There's Julia.
Yep.
And there's Hervé.
And then there's Chris.
And then there's Chris.
Yeah.
And a lot, you know, sometimes Chris doesn't get as big of a shout out, right? Because a lot of the other people on the team were all about the internet, social media, and that. And Chris Spargo does all the workplace violence prevention. A lot of people don't know this, but when our company first started, we concentrated, or we specialized mostly in the area of women's self-defense and personal safety and business safety and self-defense. And so as we kind of migrated more over into the social media side of things, Chris has really taken on the whole business violence and the prevention, which is extremely important as well. So he's kind of taken that over for us, and he works and he teaches our managing aggressive people in the workplace programs that you can find right on our website as well. And he does a really good job there. And so just wanted to give him an extra shout out, because I think sometimes he doesn't get as much recognition as the rest of us in the company do. So great show. And Brandon, last show we were talking about maybe moving to a weekly show.
Yeah, so our next show is going to be only 2 weeks away, which is going to be on June 30th.
Mark that on your calendars, ladies and gentlemen.
Please subscribe to our channel and press the notification icon so you can be notified.
For sure.
And yeah, we're going to be doing more shows. We're planning. We're planning on starting to be doing weekly shows here on YouTube, only for like an hour, half an hour per show. Half hour per show. We're going to probably start that probably mid-July. We're debating on when we're going to start, but yeah, we're going to be hoping doing more shows here very shortly. So
for sure.
we'll
Short and sweet and to the point, right? Rather than the hour, we'll just go a half hour. Maybe even bring in some guest set people here, right? Who knows, right? So we got Brandon's got all these kind of weird, wonderful ideas, right? Like, kind of cool. So yeah. Good show today, though, right?
It's a great show.
Interesting to see what was going on with a lot of the stuff out there, celebrating some of the things. Congratulations again to the scholarship winner. Just awesome essay that he put forward. So on behalf of myself, Darren.
And Brandon and Candace in the back, who was monitoring, watching all your wonderful comments.
Yeah, I want to thank you all for tuning in and participating. Some great questions in today's presentation. So until June 30th, right? June 30th?
June 30th.
At 1 p.m. Until that show, bye for now.
See you.
Thanks.